Oh, it's probably going up because you're too far away from it.
I'm 121, but as soon as I digest this cookie, it's gonna be a lot higher than that.
Oh, yeah,
Or crash down.
I was 129, just, I checked this just before I left the house.
Oh, shoot, that's what I forgot to do. I forgot to take my
But
vacation.
I guess I left
We won't be here that long.
You do insulin or
I do insulin.
brother Tommy, man, he, in between insurance and stuff, when he didn't have his, stuff for his pump, they want to see everything got way out of whack. When he has his pump, even doing everything wrong, it keeps his sugar really good.
Oh, yeah, because that's a steady,
Yeah, it's like, hey, wait, here you go, and then it kind of regulates it
and
for
they
you.
only pay for that when they have one.
And it's expensive if you don't have insurance to cover it.
All right, so we are set up on my end.
Okay. When? Hey, welcome everybody. This is the special meeting agenda for Thursday, December 7th, 2023. Starting the meeting at 4 o'clock. Well, yeah, close enough, 4 o'clock PM. We have an additional teleconference location of 820 Elm Trail, Fraser Park, California, 93225. Members of the public interested in participating by teleconference may do so using the call-in information. Okay, item number 1, call to order. We're gonna stand up and pledge to the flag. Okay, ready? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ready, roll call of directors. Director Garcia looks like he's absent. Director Nyman,
Here.
Director Kelly.
Here,
Director Gibson may be here, but she's not here currently, so she's absent at the moment. And Director Schoberg is here. That's me. And item number 2, discussion, vote, adjust agenda if necessary. Is there anything
No, I don't think
needs to
so.
be adjusted? Okay. Item 3, public comments. Is there anyone who has a public comment?
Just Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, well, we have 2 more meetings before then. So
Yeah.
I have to say that a few times. Happy holidays. Okay, Hanukkah.
And happy Hanukkah.
Yes, okay, so, discussion vote, item 4, discussion vote on grants funding for replacing the parcel B water tank. Who wants to, strike up? Is that a Tiffany?
that's a Tiffany thing.
That's it, Tiffany. I kind of put it on there in case Dee or someone else was able to show up, we'd be able to talk about it. But these 2 resolutions were needed for the community development block grant application. And that's the funding we're going for now. Their individual amounts, I believe, are over 2 million if you get the grant. So the funding would be enough to replace the tank should we get the grant. So that's all I have on that. We're kind of working with Dee and Curtis right now. The application has to be mailed by the 15th. And there's definitely engineering portions of the application. I've done all the stuff I can do.
And so
And
the
she's done a great.
obligation are these 2 resolutions that are
Thank you, Ron.
necessary. Thank you, Tiffany. And then also we need to have the audit, but you're gonna try to turn it in and then attach the audit as soon as it's.
I'm gonna attach the
Right.
audit we have, and since they're gonna be done by the audits hopefully next month, January. I think they'll still not have reviewed the application, so then I'll send the audits in.
Okay, sounds good.
I impressed on Curtis today because he's out of town for the week. That, we have to have it finished and mailed by the 15th, and he responded right away. Said they would take care of it. Had me sending him the dive report to the tank and everything, so
Very good.
it happens. And I want to thank Tiffany too. When you read it, she's
Yeah, you should
Really,
see what she
really
did. She
well
did an incredible job, really. A lot of hard work. Put it all together.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Yeah,
Okay, so anything else on item 4? Okay, item 5, discussion vote on resolution FP 2023-1207-01. Authorizing the application for CDBG funds, which is the block grant fund. So I'm gonna read from this first resolution. Draft to be approved before the Board of Directors of the Fraser Park Public Utility District, resolution that I just named in the item. In the matter of resolution by the governing body of Fraser Park Public Utility District to apply for and enter into an agreement with Kern County and designate a representative to sign the agreement. And any amendments thereto for Fraser Park Public Utility District, Parcel B Water Tank Replacement Project under the Community Development Block Grant. Whereas the Board of Directors authorizes Fraser Park Public Utility District to apply for and enter into an agreement with Kern County for Community Development Block Grant CDBG funds. And whereas Fraser Park Public Utility District urgently needs to replace Parcel B, a corroded and leaking water tank. And whereas the Parcel B water tank replacement project, qualifies as eligible for funding as a public utility improvement. And whereas the project meets 2 out of 3 of the national objectives, principally benefit low and moderate income persons, meet community development need of particular urgency. So that's the 2 of the 3. Now therefore resolved by the Board of Directors of the Fraser Park Public Utility District, the entity, as follows. The President of the Board of Directors, the authorized representative or designee, is hereby authorized and directed to sign and file for, on behalf of the entity, an application for CDBG funds and enter into an agreement with Kern County for the project. And the authorized representative or her designee is designated to provide the assurances, certifications, and commitments required for the CDBG application, including executing an agreement with Kern County and any amendments or changes thereto. And the authorized representative or her designee is designated to represent the entity in carrying out the entity's responsibilities under the agreement, including compliance with applicable state and federal laws. So that's resolution number FP 2023-1207-01. And so the last page is just, whether we pass or do not pass it. So are there any questions?
Well, I guess, so are we gonna have an authorized representative besides
I
Becky?
think we need to
Because-
name that person if we don't. I mean, we could, Becky's at home, so she can sign it or no?
As far as I understand, she's at home and she can sign it.
So,
So-
or you can
Well, let's name
me.
Well,
the vice
what's
president.
gonna happen when next month gets here, we're gonna all switch places.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, we can deal with that after the fact, because right now we can only do with who's in the positions now. We
Yeah.
only know what
Well, I was just,
I mean, all of our grants are gonna end up changing. We're gonna have to notify all.
do we have to do new resolutions for all of them?
Yeah, because we're not naming the board president, we're saying the board president is the authorized.
Right.
Yeah, so it isn't the specific person, it's just
So why
whoever's
don't
in
we
that
just say
seat.
the board president and the vice president?
Well, it says the board president or, where is it? The president of the board of directors or designee, so we can authorize in lieu of her being here tonight, me as the designee for tonight, but normally it would be the board president.
I mean, are you in
Correct.
agreement? We'll name her as the designee,
You may just add,
Lisa Schoenberg.
I don't think we need to put the name, right?
It's
Well,
better
it
not
does,
to do
but
names.
when you sign it, it's as president, you have to put the name.
Does it actually say president? So could you just change that to, vice president? And then, and my name, or we
if
can.
you wanna
or-
be the signer, yeah.
Or we should take it by Becky. It's either one.
Well, I don't have a problem I'm just wanting to make sure that we have the authorized representative. We have to designate that as,
This is, I got a lot of this, some of it. I got some of it from our previous,
Right.
we pass this every time we do a grant application.
right,
So this one actually is from the pipeline. So it's wording we've used before for the state.
Right,
It looks fine to me. I think it just needs to be, you don't need to designate it on the front page, but you do need to designate who the signature
Who the
is.
signature is, yeah.
So I can't sign it when it says Rebecca Gibson. It would have to either,
Right.
she either needs to sign it or it would need
or
to
the
be
vice
switched,
president, yeah.
So do you want me to switch your name?
It's up to, since I'm presiding over the meeting, it would be whoever the motion maker is should, I think should include that in the motion.
When does this gotta be out? Monday? Tomorrow?
No, this will be mailed with the application on Thursday or Friday.
We need the
Oh, okay.
information, so we have a minute if Becky
Oh,
wants to
okay.
sign it. We need the information from, from Curtis.
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well, as long as it says, I mean, it says president unless you want to put,
are you willing to take it by? Because then if the president changes, it's not a big deal because it would just be whoever the new president is would
Right.
then become the signer of it additionally at another time.
Yeah. So we'll just leave it as is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I make a motion that we approve, before the Board of Directors of Fraser Park Public Utility District, resolution number FP 2023-1207-01 in the matter of resolution by the governing body of Fraser Park Public Utility District to apply for and enter into an agreement with Kern County and designating a representative to sign the agreement and any amendments thereto for Fraser Park Public Utility District Parcel B water tank replacement project under the Community Development Block Grant.
The only thing I would say before there's a seconder is if for any reason, since Director Gibson is not on the meeting, if for any reason she can't sign it, then maybe you should also give, if she can't sign it, approval for a designee to sign it.
The vice president to sign it.
And a friendly amendment to that motion is if the president, Director Gibson, is not available for signature, we give the authorization as a designee, the vice president, Lisa Schoenberg,
I think you get to say
authorization.
vice
The
president,
vice,
and if we
or the
switch,
vice president to sign the resolution and all forms.
do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, so any other discussion before we take a roll call vote? Okay, Director Garcia is absent, Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Gibson is absent, Director Schoenberg is an aye, that, resolution passes 3-0-0 to absent. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to item number 6, discussion vote on resolution FP 2023-1207-02, proof of commitments, and I'm gonna read that.
So before you start reading it,
Okay.
the amount of the commitment filled in there was my amount. Obviously, it's my suggestion, but it's also a placeholder. So this resolution is if the district is committing funds, our own funds to the project, we have to pass a resolution of commitment. That's what this is for. So I put an amount of commitment, but that's not from them. That's
That's the
from me.
entity is for us,
Yes.
That's
that
our-
we would
we
put
would
in
pay.
250, okay.
Yeah, that was just, but I'm just saying, that's not written in stone and that's not from Kern County. It's
Is
from
this
me.
going to get turned in with the application? this
Yes.
Resolution?
So they will hold us to that amount.
Yes, and in the project application, when we're talking about how much the project will cost, I know when I worked with the last grant for this, with D, he was saying about 1.5 million. So that's kind of what we're getting that number from, because basically the grant amount would be 1.25 million and we would contribute 250,000 and that would equal the 1.5. I don't know if Dee's number is gonna change or Curtis' number is gonna change from last month. It probably will. But just so you're aware of that, and you're welcome.
And do
to-
they ask a percentage or anything? Is there any kind of wording in there for the?
They prefer commitments from other sources. They like, they prefer it. They prefer that we add something in there. So whatever you guys end up feeling, it doesn't have a suggested amount. It doesn't,
have a percent of,
No,
since you're
I
applying
think
for this
that's-
grant?
I
Not
think
this
that's
one.
a reason.
it's what we were gonna do for the hazard mitigation. and
Well,
that's what I got.
what I would, suggest, we don't have this in the money, but we also take part of this if there's anything left in the replacement fund, because this is directly a USDA replacement fund item, but there's no way the replacement fund will cover it. So I got like, what, 100,000 left or something?
Probably.
75,000. It doesn't, not even that, because we took some out of it for SCADA, so.
But we can very soon put that back. I mean, take it, oh no, because we have to take it out of that account. That's right, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I've already taken it out.
Oh, have you?
Whatever the,
Well, but we
except
could,
for whatever, we haven't gotten our final bills, but
Yeah.
for whatever we've already, expended, I've already
So-
taken that
So
out.
you think we should change it to something that we could actually pull together?
well, I know, what, do we have it? We don't have the last.
We have about 900,000 or 950.
No, that's in the capital improvement,
Capital.
I'm talking about the replacement.
The replacement, I'm not, it was 100 and, I think it was like
150 or
160,
something,
it was
yeah.
like, yeah, and we took like 25,000 or so.
So we probably
We got
have
about at least
100,000.
100,000 in there.
So I would say that we're okay, because between that, like, we could deplete that, since that is a USDA project, tank that we had issues with, so, and then we could take out of the capital improvements, so I think we'd be okay, so, yeah,
That shows that we're,
What do you-
serious about wanting to.
Mhm.
yeah,
To
what
do
do
it.
you think, Director Kelly?
As long as somewhere we can come up with that money. I mean,
Yeah, we take 150 from the
oh,
CIR and 100 from.
because I don't want them to be expecting that amount and then we say, oh, well, all we can come up with is 100,000.
Yeah, I think right at this point, we can cover it, it would deplete, I think it would deplete the replacement account completely, but that may be
But that's,
fine, because that's what it's for.
that's what it's for, so.
So
I-
as long as we get approval from the USDA, so let me read this and then you can
Okay.
mull it over in your brains for a minute before you make a motion, so. Draft to be approved before the Board of Directors of the Fraser Park Public Utility District Resolution FP 2023-120702 in the matter of resolution by the governing body of Fraser Park Public Utility District as proof of commitment to provide funding for the Parcel B water tank replacement project. Whereas the Board of Directors has authorized Fraser Park Public Utility District to apply for and enter into an agreement with Kern County for Community Development Block Grant CDBG funds, which we just passed previous to this. Whereas Fraser Park Public Utility District urgently needs to replace Parcel B, a corroded and leaking water tank. And whereas the Board of Directors has identified the project as eligible for District Capital Improvement Reserve funds. And whereas the Parcel B water tank replacement project, the project qualifies as eligible for funding as a public utility improvement. And whereas the project meets 2 out of 3 of the national objectives, principally benefit low and moderate income persons, meet community development need of particular urgency. Now therefore resolved by the Board of Directors of the Fraser Park Public Utility District, the entity as follows. The entity commits to provide 250,000 toward the project.
Towards, could be
Toward, yeah.
With an S, toward, or toward?
Toward the project is okay.
Okay,
It's a singular project.
Okay. okay.
No, I think it doesn't need the S. These funds may be used to cover materials, engineering, administration, and or any other project related costs. And the president of the Board of Directors, the authorized representative, or his or designee is hereby authorized and directed to disperse these funds as needed and or required for project related costs. Passed and adopted at the special meeting of the Board of Directors. So that would be it. So I would entertain a similar motion to the previous.
Yes, I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number FP 2023-1207-02 in the matter of resolution by the governing body of Fraser Park Public Utility District as proof as commitment to provide funding for the Parcel B water tank replacement project. And if the president is not available for signature, that the designee of vice president can sign the resolution and all applications.
I'll second that.
Okay, so we have a motion and second. Are there any questions, discussion relevant to this that need to happen before I do a roll call? Okay, roll call of directors. Director Garcia, absent. Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Gibson is absent. Director Schoenberg is an aye. That resolution passes. That is 3-0-0 with 2 absent. And so that is item 6. Item 7, discussion vote on future agenda items. We may have this come up again, but no, because we just need to kind of see where,
Yeah, we
Yeah.
shouldn't have to have it on again, but there'll be discussion items.
because
anyway on
our
this
next
agenda.
meeting is one day before it's absolutely due, correct?
Yeah, so if
And-
there's anything.
And by due, is that postmarked or in the hands of?
It's a mailed by.
Okay. So we have one more meeting before then.
Yeah, so
If
it'll
you
be
need to
mailed
add
by the 15th. Hopefully it'll all be done on the 14th.
Okay,
Are we gonna like overnight it?
Actually, they like it to be, well, yeah, I mean, I could drive it up the hill and try to do the fastest, from the post office like normal, because the post office here don't do it.
They don't
They do
overnight?
it. Anytime you try to do it here, they say it takes 2 days no matter what,
Oh,
because of where we're at.
yeah.
They have to get it down to Valencia and then that's, so the last one I did a couple weeks ago, I drove to Valencia and did it from that post office.
Okay.
So we have to all do it.
Okay,
so I will entertain a motion to adjourn if there's no further discussion.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second it.
All right, then I will be, roll call directors. Director Garcia is absent. Director Nyman.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Gibson is absent. Director Schoenberg is in favor. That is adjournment at 4:20 PM. And,
That's
and
the fastest meeting we've ever had.
yes,
Ever.
and that motion passes 3-0-0 to absent. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Pam.
Thank you.
Hi, Joan. We're
Hi,
done
Joan.
already. Sorry.
Hey, Joan, good to hear you. Good to
Perfect
see
timing
you.
for us
Perfect
to
timing. We just
Say hi
adjourned.
and bye.
Merry Christmas, Joan. Happy New Year. We'll see you next week.
Merry Christmas, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
We're adjourned.
14th and the 21st.